Hi everybody, my name is Colin from randdtaxcredits.ie and thank you for joining us in this video today. Why engage randdtaxcredits.ie to help you with your R&D tax credit claims? There's a number of reasons and I'm not going to just focus on a cost element here. The real reason is because the Irish Revenue expect and want you to collate your claim and your technical documentation in a live fashion. And really, there is no existing systems or processes out there that will allow you to do this as seamlessly as the web app that we've developed to help companies comply with the new revenue guidelines. I'm going to now talk you through how to claim, how claims should be generated and constructed, and then give you some background and information as to why the way we think you should claim is the correct manner to do that. Okay. So maybe you've watched my introductory video now and you're happy with how an R&D tax credit claim is made up, or maybe you've experienced with R&D tax credit claims previously. Either way, we need to think about how do you go about claiming. And there's three things that need to be done more or less immediately. The first is the R&D and finance teams need to be trained on the regime and its requirements. We also need to focus on the specific nuances required to make a strong claim. Your current advisors probably do this type of training or workshop as they may call it, but will likely do it after your financial year end, which in my opinion is actually too late. This information needs to be known up front, and my web app is seeking to give on-demand training to people as and when they require it, which is when they're actually completing the documentation, which should be in real time. Next, you need to collate the technical information to ensure you are meeting the revenue documentation requirements. Again, traditionally the advisors will send technical surveys around post-year end to collect that information. What you'll find is a lot of people have left your organisation or are struggling to recall exactly what happened in that prior year, and some of the key information is going to be missing or lost. It's infinitely easier to capture the technical uncertainties and advancements as the activity is happening. What we're seeking to do is, contemporaneously, as the projects happen, capture that detail in those documents live in our system and collate it together as part of the technical reports. The third piece that you need to be able to demonstrate is a clear link between the technical and financial elements of the claim. And it's emerged over the last few years with revenue. The way they expect you to do this is by having some type of time recording system in place. Historically, claims would have been collated again after a year end with time allocation surveys, trying to apportion people over a full financial year, and based on recent revenue audit experience, that's no longer deemed acceptable, and they'll actually deem you not to be a qualifying company if you can't show the linkages between those technical and financial elements of the claim on a real-time contemporaneous basis. Again, our web app is seeking to do this on either a monthly or quarterly basis by automatically generating time allocation surveys and sending it to your technical leads for completion. It does this by automatically generating a time allocation survey on our application and notifying the users that it's ready for completion. This means that the technical and financial information via timesheets is always aligned and full project listing is always maintained. So why do you need our services? Well, let's run through a couple of pieces from the legislation and from revenue guidelines. First up, a company must be a qualifying company and maintain a record of expenditure incurred by it in the carrying on by it of those activities. This is what the legislation defines as being required in order to meet the requirements to claim an R&D tax credit. The revenue guidelines go on to say that it is important that claimants realise the importance of contemporaneous and relevant documentation to support the claim, and they go on to say failure to keep such documentation may result in the claim for R&D tax credit being disallowed. While it's likely that you keep contemporaneous documentation of some form while the R&D activity is happening, I would question how relevant that documentation is to support an R&D tax credit claim. Does it address advancement and uncertainty criteria? The guidelines also state that revenue expects to see documentation that charts the lifetime of the project from start to finish. Again, we're looking for relevant documentation here, and does that post-year-end assessment do that? In Appendix 3 of Revenue's guidelines, they outline a new suggested file layout, and in it, one of the questions they ask is to outline the allocation between qualifying and non-qualifying. Say, please provide the basis for the allocation and the process and controls around monitoring the same. While this may not be done on a contemporaneous basis, it should be done on a timely basis, e.g. month in arrears or quarter in arrears. It is imperative that any allocation is completed prior to the R&D tax credit claim on CT1 and supporting documentation is available for review. With the web app, you can complete these in the timely basis mentioned, and the full supporting information can be available in as little as 1 month following the year end. In section 8.4 of the Revenue Guidelines, they state that it is important that all entries are made on a timely and consistent basis, all records are kept on a continuous basis, and all linking papers to accounts are kept. The claimant company must be able to provide reliable assurances to the integrity of records, including author, creator, and date of creation of each record. It's very unlikely that your current process and system to capture R&D activities and documentation will have that type of audit documentation available should Revenue request it. These are the reasons why I started this company. I don't believe the service that I was offering previously could address the new requirements that Revenue believe should be in place in order to claim an R&D tax credit. My web application seeks to do this in a far more consistent and reliable way, as well as being a lot cheaper than any current services that you're obtaining. So one last thing before we close out. I thought it would be useful to quickly introduce myself. My name is Cathal Noon. I'm the Managing Director here in randdtaxcredits.ie. I'm both an electronic engineer and a chartered accountant. And over the last 5 years, I've been advising the largest multinationals in Ireland on claiming R&D tax credits as a director in one of the big 4 firms. That's it from the sales pitch for the moment. Thanks for listening to our video, and I'm happy to have a conversation and discuss anything on this video at any stage if you'd just like to contact me with the details as seen on screen. I'll look forward to speaking to many of you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.